Hello and welcome to Can You Be Consistent? Now, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be doing a video series on conversations, mainly on Facebook, that I've had with people, pointing out that a lot of the people that cry racism, that cry intolerance, they're not consistent. They have basically there's a lot of hypocrisy. A lot of people, they have selective outrage. They get mad when people say things they don't like and they cry racism. But if it's someone that's on their side, so to speak, saying the same exact thing, they don't have a problem with it. And the reason why this matters is you can never have justice in a society where justice is decided by each person. Each person just kind of decides their own opinion of justice, and basically justice is done on a sliding scale. Like when it's convenient for you, you're going to call something an injustice, but when it works in your favor or when it doesn't bother you, then you're not going to say anything. That's not how it works. If you want justice, if you want fairness and all of that stuff, you yourself have to be fair. You have to be consistent. And what I see with a lot of ideas on the left is that they're not consistent, and they do a lot of the same things that they get mad at conservatives for doing and saying. For example, think about all of the talk around Trump's border wall and how it's racist and unfair. But, Barack Obama, Chuck Schumer, Joe Biden, and Hillary Clinton all voted for a physical barrier on that wall. All of them voted for a physical barrier on that border. Back in 2006, it was called the Secure Fence Act, and they voted because they saw that immigration was a problem in that way, and they voted to put a fence there. It's just a fence. So obviously, we're still talking about immigration today, so it wasn't enough, or it isn't enough. But again, some of those same people who voted for that will say, "Oh, Trump is a racist because he wants to secure the border." I have a long list of things. There are people that just to give you one more example. There are people that say that when Trump pulled the United States out of the Trans-Pacific Partnership, that he was doing a bad thing because, oh, look, so many other countries are in it. We're the only country that's not a part of it. He's making a mistake. Well, when Bernie Sanders and Hillary Clinton were doing their presidential debates with each other, they both said that the TPP was a bad deal. So had either of them become president, they would have, according to them, they would have withdrew from the TPP as well. So again, it's like, it's worthy of a video because there are so many things that Trump has done or said, and the Democrats have attacked him for it when they've said the same exact thing, or other Democrats have said the same thing. All right, that's big tangent. So this one here is Shut Up and Dribble. This is when Laura Ingraham, she saw the video about, and most of y'all probably know about it, LeBron and Kevin Durant talking about society, talking about politics, and talking about how Trump has made society racist and Trump's ignorant and that sort of thing. And Laura Ingraham, she gave a piece and she basically said, "Shut up and dribble." She said, you're paid to entertain us. You're basically unqualified to speak within the realm of politics. And then she said some other things like, well, he went from high school straight to the NBA. He went from basically being a kid to a millionaire, and this is what happened. So she said a lot of things, and a lot of people were offended by it. And on one level, I can understand why someone's offended by that. A white woman telling a black person, "Shut up and dribble," But so I can understand why someone is offended by it. But here's my thing. I'm not going to tell you to not be offended by it. You can be, you have a right to think for yourself. My challenge is, can you be consistent? Because when Kanye West, I'm gonna show you the Facebook post that I did, because it explains everything. All right, it's supposed to be if it's wrong for a white woman to tell a black person to shut up and dribble. Oh, wait, let me read it again. It's wrong for a white woman to tell a black person to shut up and dribble, but it's okay for blacks to tell a rapper to shut up and make music. So this is referring to Kanye West and the people saying, and people all over Facebook is like, shut up, Kanye. You don't know what you're talking about. You're stupid. You're making us look bad. And, just stick to music. And so that's why I said that. So it's okay for blacks to tell a rapper to shut up and make music. This is why the world sucks. People change the rules when it's convenient and then have the nerve to be crying out about justice. How do you want justice when you're willing to hold every human being to the same standard? You don't want justice. You want to force your belief onto others. So I'm going to stop right there. The reason why I say that is because, again, like I said, in the intro, when it supports a person's views, people don't have a problem with someone else being vile, rude, disrespectful, offensive. They don't have a problem with it. But when it's aimed at them, they cry racism, they cry intolerance. So it's just it's just a way of silencing people you don't agree with. It's not really about you really being offended. Because like I said, when people say the same thing, but they're kind of like on your side saying it to the other people, you're okay with it. I saw a video. I have it on my channel. I'll leave a link to it because it explains this perfectly. I had a video called How Does This Make Sense? And what happened is Steven Crowder, who runs a YouTube channel, Steven Crowder went to a feminist convention and they literally gave out a pamphlet of things you should not say because it can trigger people. It can be offensive. Don't mention beer. Don't mention weight. Don't mention unattractiveness. They gave him a long list of things that, well, not just him, but they handed out a long list of things that you should be mindful of when you talk to people. Basically like transgender people or LGBT people. You should not say these lists of things because you could trigger them and you could offend them. And they were like normal words. But when you go inside the little lobby where they're selling stuff, they had like a card on sale, which was in the card it was Jesus on a cross with basically like they had like drew period blood, blood down there, and it was kind of calling him Jesus a queer, right? I kid you not. I'm gonna leave the link to the video. Check it out. It's a really short video. So he questioned them about it, like, yo, how do you have a long list of words that are offensive that we shouldn't say, but then you have a picture of Jesus with period blood on him, like. I can't remember what else was on them, but you could tell they were saying it was period blood. And the people laughed. And they kind of, one person laughed and said, well, hey, Christians have their own safe space. And he's like, well, but what about me? You're worried about offending everybody else, but what about me? And they basically end up asking him to leave. So, again, my whole point is, that's a perfect example. A lot of people like to cry racism and all of that stuff, but they're not consistent. So why is it okay for black people to be telling Kanye, shut up, be quiet, if you're not going to allow someone else the same right when they say something, to the person that you like or whatever? Oh, that's racist, or oh, you just want to shut them up, and this is how they operate. But as soon as a person says something, as soon as a black person says something conservative, other blacks show the same mentality that they ridicule others or they call out others for. I want to read these comments here. So the last thing I said was, and I don't want to hear any nonsense about Ingram being racist. Just because a white person criticizes a black person does not automatically mean racism. And that's true. Just because a white person says something about a black person doesn't automatically mean that they're racist. And this is what I mean about justice or equality or however way you want to say it. Tolerance. If you don't have no kind of standard, if it's just going off how you feel, you're never going to be happy. And then if you're going to go off how you feel, if someone's automatically wrong just because you're offended, then other people have that right too. And when you offend them, they can invoke the same things that you invoked. And it's like you can't run the world off feelings. So let's read the comments. Lamont said, Eric and I do battle from time to time over diverse issues. He's on point with this one. We have to learn the difference when something is racist or a person is giving an opinion. And Darian said, has she said the same to white athletes? I said, that's ridiculous. You need to learn the difference between assumptions and facts, because don't seem to understand the differences. So the whole point is, if that's your criteria, see, now in any given situation, okay, a white woman, she, in his mind, insulted a black person. Either she's racist or she's not, right? Either her statement was racist or it's not. What's your standard? His standard isn't, well, does she continually do this, which would be the most simplest way to determine if someone's racist or not. Does she come from like a racist background and, her dad's in the Klan? Even that doesn't automatically make someone racist, but at least you have something to go by. Basically what he said was, has she said this to a white person, white athlete? What if she's never said it to no one at all? Then what? Oh, she never said it to a white person, so she's automatically racist. But what if she never said it to a black person before either? See, this is what I'm saying. Like, I don't know. That doesn't make any sense. But we're going to get to the whole contradiction. So I posted a book because she wrote a book in 2003, and this is what she titled it: "Shut Up and Sing: How Elites from Hollywood, Politics, and the UN Are Subverting America." Now, she was on her show when she talked about the whole "shut up and dribble" thing. Basically, what she was saying is that celebrities give their opinion, usually extremely left wing, and she's a conservative, so she's gonna have a problem with that. But she's like, usually celebrities give their opinion, and people rally behind these celebrities, and these celebrities they're just actors and athletes and singers. They're not politicians. They didn't go to school to study law or anything. They're just people that happen to be famous. So their opinion isn't automatically more valid. You ought to turn to people who you need to listen to people who actually, know, people that are to study politics and stuff, basically. Now, obviously, everyone has a right to express their own opinion. But the whole point is, you're not an expert just because people listen to you. You're not an expert just because you have money and people listen to you because you have money. That's her whole point. You can agree with it, you can disagree with it, whatever. Just be consistent. So I also want to point out that the same people who had a problem with her saying that to LeBron also complained about Trump stuffing his nose into football. So if politicians shouldn't get involved with sports, then athletes shouldn't get involved with politics. It's all about being consistent. So again, when that happened, people were saying, yo, you're the president. You ain't got nothing to do with football. Shut up. Colin Kaepernick has his right to speak and all this stuff. So they were, in a way, it's kind of like, like how you want to tell the NFL how to run the NFL. You got more important things to worry about. I understand that. But be consistent. If he should not speak on sport, if a politician shouldn't speak on sports, then sports people, athletes, shouldn't speak on politics. It's just about being consistent. If you feel as though everyone has a right to say whatever they want, fine. Just be consistent. If you feel as though people should only stick to what they know, just be consistent. So Jerome said, now he thought we were talking about something else apparently. This is crazy. Alternative fact. Y'all make dumb-ish sound so much like serious facts. Mills is not the poster child for victimization. So he's talking about Meek Mills. Sometimes it happens where you accidentally post on the wrong thing. If you got more than one screen open. So after I posted the picture of the book of her saying this in 2003, Darian didn't reply. So I asked him, where's it at? I said, do you think that Ingram was being racist after seeing that she wrote an entire book about celebrities and their opinion on Hollywood? It should be on politics. Let me fix that right now. So I sound very illiterate. Or in Hollywood. It should be in Hollywood. Let me put politics. I can't spell today. Politics. Oh my gosh. Polic. Politics. Oh, that's embarrassing. All right. So anyway, he said, do you think that Ingram was being racist after seeing that she wrote a book about celebrities and their opinion on politics? No, but I think she's prejudiced. Based off what? Although she wrote a book, you still never answered whether she told us a white sports figure to shut up and dribble or whatever on live TV. Now notice he's doing what's called moving the goalposts. He said no, but she's prejudiced. Why is she prejudiced if she wrote in a book and her comment to LeBron James was consistent with her book, which says celebrities and celebrities in general should shut up and do what they're supposed to do. I mean, she called out a couple of different people in the book, but it's like that statement is consistent with what she said in the past. That's the evidence. So either my battery's about to die. So it's like I don't know what else to say. It speaks for itself. Like, sometimes people want to believe what they want to believe. The evidence points to her simply believing that way about LeBron because the way she feels about everyone else who does it. Nothing. It doesn't have anything to do with him being black. All right, let the conversation continues though. Oh, I just want to address and then the moving the goalposts. Moving the goalposts is when someone demands a specific type of proof, and then you give it to them, but then they change it to something else. Right. So let's say someone says, you're not off today. You're supposed to be at work. And then you showed it. You're like, well, I am. The boss texted me and said I'm supposed to be, I'm off today. And then the other person says, let me see the text then. If it's really true, let me see the text. So you show them the text message from your boss. And then they say, well, somebody else could have wrote that. Or you could have made it up. Well, you're moving the goalposts because you asked for a particular set of proof. I gave it to you. Now you're changing the standard. And that's what people do when they've already had their mind made up and they're not really looking for evidence. They just want to believe what they want to believe. So that's what it's a logical fallacy. It's called moving the goalposts. People do it all the time and they don't realize they're doing it. So I said, I answered your question by pointing out that she wrote a book about her views that celebrities should stay out of politics. Did you even look at the title of the book? So she clearly says that to white people. She says that to every celebrity who gets involved with politics. If you don't see that, then I suspect you simply don't want to. So he says, so she's done it on live TV or no? First he asked, well, did she ever say it to another athlete? I showed him, well, actually, she does say it to white people, white celebrities. And then he says, well, she said it on live TV. It's moving the goalposts. So I tried to, I gave him a little link. I said, you're changing the burden of proof to justify your position. And this is what people do. This is like a human nature kind of thing where people tend to look for evidence to support their belief. You got to be careful because anyone can get like that. And I think most of us tend to do it. Everyone does it. It's just kind of the way we work. You have to be mindful of that. You look for stuff that support your view and you automatically reject stuff that doesn't support your view. You kind of have to learn how to not be that way. So I sent him a link to explaining the logical fallacy. And then this is an article that I found. So I sent this to him. I don't know how good it's going to show up for y'all. But I sent this to him here. Matter of fact, let me just go to it. I had it somewhere. Okay, here you go. So, and this goes to another thing that I wanted to talk about. That I have a video about doing research. And what I'd say is that when you're doing research on a particular thing, you have to listen to the other side. You have to. You are not educated if you just listen to one position on a topic and make up your mind. Always go listen to the other side. So Laura Ingraham responded to LeBron James. And I'm not going to read all this. Just one paragraph I'm going to read right here. In 2003, I wrote a New York Times bestseller called Shut Up and Sing, in which I criticized celebrities like the Dixie Chicks, Barbra Streisand, who were trashing then President George W. Bush. I have used a variation of that title for more than 15 years to respond to performers who sound off on politics. I've told Robert De Niro to shut up and act, Jimmy Kimmel to shut up and make us laugh, and just this week told the San Antonio Spurs Greg Popovich to shut up and coach. So, I mean, and then she goes on to say, but, you know, she says it wasn't racial. But, I mean, that's the, boom, there you go right there. She said it to she said the same thing to numerous white people, numerous celebrities, even to a basketball coach. So, at this point, the only way, in my opinion, that you want to believe that this person said that out of racism, she could be racist, but this comment, the only way you can say that that's racist is if you want to believe that. Hold on while I gotta get my charger. I should have checked this before I started recording. Sorry about that. Where is the plug? Oh my gosh. There you go. Sorry about that. Alright, so let's go back to the conversation because it looked like he replied again. This conversation started yesterday. And but the whole point is it's kind of like, this is why sometimes when I'm just having a discussion with someone, I ask them up front, what kind of proof are they looking for? Because when I give it to them, I can then point it out. Like, hey, you asked for this proof and you got it. And that can kind of help them be more aware of what they're doing when they move the goalposts. So I'm going to actually see if I can find a clip of her saying that to Greg Popovich and post it. But at this point, it probably won't make it matter because he seems to have made up his mind. Let's go back and see what he said. Let me get out of here. Oh, I also posted this. This is calling out Mark Wahlberg. It's not live TV, but she's calling him out publicly. You know, if you don't agree with her, you don't agree with her. But my whole thing about racism is you will find racism wherever you look for it. Excuse me, you'll find racism wherever you assume it to be. The very fact that you would assume racism and need evidence to prove otherwise shows that you are prejudiced. It's the same exact thing that blacks accuse whites of doing when whites assume that every black is a criminal. I think that kind of speaks for itself, but that is exactly what black people do when they get pulled over. And it's like, oh, you pulled me over because I'm black. You assume I'm a criminal, or I got my hoodie on. You assume I'm a thug. That's inappropriate. You shouldn't treat us like that. But you have the same mentality. You're assuming guilt and demanding evidence to prove innocence, which I have a feeling he's not even going to accept that either. So let me go back and see. Okay, he didn't reply again. It was something else. So yeah, we'll see what he says tomorrow. But this kind of pretty much sums up. This is what I see all the time with liberals. To be honest, like, this is just what I see. This is the attitude. They get riled up or upset about stuff, but it's only about it being directed to them. This is gonna be a video series. I'm gonna keep pointing this out because we got the whole coffee shop incident. A lot of you may not even know there were Christians who were denied service in a coffee shop in Seattle. It made the news. There was no outrage, no protest. The police officers were denied service in a coffee shop in California. Made the news. No outrage, no protest. So people are very selective. And it's like, if you want to end bigotry, if you want to end prejudice or whatever else, however way you want to look at it, if you want to end that and you want people to be treated equally, you have to be consistent regardless of who does it. And regardless of whoever it happens to. Now, the problem is people don't want equality, and they don't want that. They want special privilege. And what I mean by special privilege is you don't care if it happens to other people. You want to be a protected class. You want to be a protected, whether you're gay, whether you're Christian, whether you're white, black, whatever. If you have a problem with something because it happens to you, but not when it happens to other people, you're not looking for equality. You're not looking for respect. You're looking for special privilege. So, I mean, that's the end of the video. I've given plenty of proof. Let me see if I got anything else I wanted to show y'all. I mean, she mentioned in the article that she called out Barbara Streisand. So, I mean, I don't really have anything else to say, but so I'm going to end it there. But, you know, welcome to the series. Can you be consistent? This is the Shut Up and Dribble version or video. And, you know, the next one I'm going to do is about reparations.